Welcome to Know Your Mobile. I'm Basil, and here we have a comparison between the Huawei Ascend-Mate, Huawei's newly announced phablet coming in at 6 inches, and the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, the 5.55-inch behemoth that we thought was as big as it could get for a phone. Oh no. The Huawei Ascend-Mate, packs not only a larger chassis but a slightly thicker form factor, and we can truly say, despite my 6'4" hand, it feels very, very big. Kicking off looking at the design, and it's actually not too dissimilar to the Samsung in terms of you've got a silver bezel and you've got a glossy backing as well as a glass fascia. You do have, however, much more angular corners, so it's more akin to the D2 and indeed more iPhone-esque styling. If we look at the Samsung, however, it looks markedly Samsung. You've got the curvaceous corners, a ergonomic backing, very, very, very glossy indeed. The actual ports on the Samsung include one button on the front, which the Huawei doesn't have, volume rocket to the left, on the right hand side power button down below, 3 micro USB port, and that stylus, the S Pen, is there, and that isn't available, or no stylus support, on the Huawei Ascend-Mate. Up at the top is a 3.5mm headphone jack, and on the reverse is an 8-megapixel rear-facing camera along with an LED flash, and the loudspeaker down below. It is a removable back cover. If we look at the Huawei Ascend-Mate, and we can see a pretty similar set of options. You also do, by the way, have a micro SD slot underneath the back cover and a removable battery. On the Huawei Ascend-Mate, you've got that giant 6-inch display on the face, which really does dominate everything. On the left side is a micro SD card slot, on the right hand side is a power button and a volume rocker, while down below is a micro USB port, which is plugged in, as you can see. Up at the top is a 3.5mm jack and a SIM eject tray. On the reverse, that high gloss backing, we can zoom in a little bit and you might be able to make out that patterning along the backing. And you've got that 8-megapixel rear-facing camera with LED flash. We can actually zoom into the screen on the Huawei Ascend-Mate, as that is what we're going to be talking about now. The screen's a 720p display, which is an interesting choice. We thought they might go for a 1080p given the fact the smaller D2 has it. However, it is the same resolution, therefore, as the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. The Samsung Galaxy Note 2, however, is an AMOLED display. LCDs tend to excel in whites, AMOLEDs display much deeper blacks and more eye-popping colours generally. The IPS display on the Huawei Ascend-Mate still looks very, very nice indeed. Now moving on to the UIs, and both Huawei and Samsung have overlaid Android 4.1 with their own custom skins. Samsung have done it with TouchWiz, Huawei have done it with their own, and this is the first time that we've seen this customization. It's a bold move, it definitely is, because they've gotten away with some things that we've gotten very, very used to. One of these is the Apps Drawer, the Apps Tray. We can't actually find it anywhere, which suggests it isn't there. In fact, the only way it looks like we can access applications or all our applications, is in the folder, as you can see. If we want to add a folder, we assume it's just going to be a long press. Oh, no, it's not. You see, we're almost at a loss for what to do in order to pull that up. Maybe with a little bit of training, a little bit of time with the device, we might warm to it a little bit more. Also, the Huawei Ascend-Mate has a bar at the bottom which will disappear. If we zoom in on that for you, you can see a press of the left-hand button will make the bar disappear, maximizing fully that gorgeous 6.1-inch IPS display. And then when we want to pull that back, we can just swipe up into frame and it will bring the bar back into frame as well. The Samsung Galaxy Note 2 packs TouchWiz, as we mentioned, and this is a tried and tested Samsung UI that's been on many, many handsets to date. It's much more traditional, doesn't really get rid of anything we've grown to love, and adds a lot of things like quick settings, for example, which indeed the Huawei Ascend-Mate does. All in all, first impressions, we're not even the hugest fans of TouchWiz, but we have to say we're warming to it a lot more than Huawei's skin, but that might change when we get the device in for review. On the reverse of both devices are 8-megapixel rear-facing cameras, and the performance of that will depend on how the Huawei fares when we get it in. We know the Samsung one performs extremely well, especially thanks to that gorgeous LED flash on the reverse. Specs-wise, you've got a 1.6 GHz Exynos quad-core processor in the Samsung. In the Huawei Ascend-Mate, you have a 1.5 GHz Huawei processor. Now, this is the first time we've seen Huawei's processors, their quad-core processors, make it into their phones. So we've got high hopes indeed, especially as it should come in at a competitive price point, given it is Huawei, and that's what the brand has become known for. Finally, we're going to move on to memory, and both have 2 gigabytes of RAM. However, in terms of internal memory, there's 8 gigabytes on the Huawei Ascend Mate and a micro SD card slot, in contrast to the 16 gigabytes in the micro SD card slot on the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Finally, the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 wins out ever so slightly with the S Pen. In fact, not ever so slightly, hugely. I know as a Galaxy Note user, the S Pen is invaluable, and the 1024 levels of pressure sensitivity, thanks to the Wacom digitizer on the display, really do help things along. We'd see the Ascend Mate with its 6.1-inch screen as a perfect opportunity to get the stylus support in there, however they haven't. So anyone who really wants stylus support, the Galaxy Note 2 is really our only option. Anyone else, however, will be well served with the additional size the Ascend Mate offers. It'll be perfect for videos, magazines, etc. Thanks for watching Know Your Mobile. I've been Basil with a quick comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 and the Huawei Ascend Mate.